there are two ideas I want to present and see what you think of them. One is the need to intellectualize the saffron, and the other is the need to saffronize the intellectuals. So, saffronizing the intellectuals is find the public intellectuals who are open-minded. Some of them are good Hindus, but they have got a misunderstanding about Sangh. But they are very good Hindus, practicing Hindus, people like me fighting for decades in my personal capacity. And so how to bring them into a way that, there can be more collaboration. So that is, and then there are intellectuals who are not, who are sitting on the fence, but they're open-minded. So there may be ways of saffronizing intellectuals. The second is intellectualizing the saffron, which means the people who are already grassroots, who are involved in activities, how to raise the standard of intellectualism to world class, how to take a small town cricket team and make it play international ODI win, that kind of world class, which requires its own training. What do you think of these two?
Yes, both are necessary. If we want to change the world discourse, then this must happen. The intellectuals looked at everything Hindu in a derogatory manner. That was the condition. It has to be changed.
Yes.
And for that, the open-minded persons in that field must be contacted, and they should be presented with the information so that they can draw their own inferences and write and speak accordingly. At the same time, we should have a direct input in intellectual class from our side.
Yes.
Those who know,
Yes.
they should start presenting it in proper way.
In the proper way is very key, because every group has its own style. How to talk to them, how to argue,
Yes.
a particular style.
Yes,
Yes.
that is.
Yeah.
That is why some activities like Pradnya Pravaha, etc. are going. We are training our own intellectuals, and in mass gatherings we are calling others also, presenting before them our topics. They put their opinions, we put our opinions, and then a paradigm is created which can thrive in the world outside. That type of activity from 2 years we have started, and numbers are growing now.
The Ved Pathshalas have a problem that the children of the Pandits, grandchildren of the Pandits, rather than following the lineage, they are going and working in Google or Amazon and new kind of fields. Nothing wrong with that. We should have economy and everybody should do what they feel like. But the traditional system of producing intellectuals is not thriving to the same extent, because they're losing a lot of people. I in fact go and talk to a lot of such people, and they're saying my children want to go and do something totally unrelated, whereas I have been doing this for so many generations. So now it seems that it's a different time we are in, and we can't count on just producing more bottom-up people from our own side. We have to also go after other people.
You see, for last 1,000 years, the Hindu intellectual world was at a standstill. It was under aggression. It was busy in defending itself. So there was no going out, presenting ourselves to the world, helping the world to grow. That type of activity was not at all there. Now suddenly, we have come in the new world.
So quick,
So,
and we are not ready for it. It's
we
almost
are
like
not ready for
it's
it.
almost like too good news
So,
suddenly.
Yes. So that readiness training must start from the Gurukulas themselves. To that purpose, a Gurukul Parishad was taken in Ujjain just some months before. And there they have decided that Gurukuls should have the traditional education as well as the modern education together, and we should try to correlate. Why should science and our spirituality be at loggerheads?
Right.
Many things in science, we have already proved them
Yes.
by our own method.
Yes.
So, how to present this?
Yes.
That this is said in Vedas, this is your scientific decision, conclusion. Both tally. So, you have to see that though there were no laboratories and scientists in modern sense of the words, there was some method.
Yes, sure. I mean, the West is copying a whole lot of Ayurveda, and the West took a whole lot of Indian mathematics, a few hundred years
Even
ago.
cosmology now they are studying.
Whole lot. Now the yoga. So the whole. So the India has been an export of knowledge. In the old days of Nalanda, it was well recognized and they respected it. Now they are stealing it and not respecting it. In fact, taking our knowledge, cobbling it their own, और बदनामी हमारी हो रही है, blaming us for wrong things.
Actually, one more thing, this thing that to monopolize everything, even knowledge, we are knowledgeable persons and we will give the lead and you have to follow it. This type of tendency was unknown in Bharat.
Yes.
We were sharing always.
And very open.
Open. So now this closed tendency we have experienced for the first time, and now we have awakened from the shock and girding ourselves to fight.
Now the RSS's method of sampark, door-to-door neighborhood visits, sharing meals, was very important in an age when people's social life was neighborhood, local. But now the average distance, physical distance of somebody's social life become more and more. People driving far away to meet. On the internet they are engaged. So if you were to take a person and look at all his social interactions and how far they are, it's become much further. So do you feel that the door-to-door method and that is applicable for this new age, or do you feel that other methods are needed where the sampark will be a kind of a long distance sampark in some cases, or internet sampark in some cases?
There are two different things. Reaching people is one thing, but changing them is another thing. Loka Sangraha is Loka Samparka, one. Loka Sanskar is second stage. And then Sanskarit people should be deployed in social life. That is Loka Yojana. For Loka Samparka, we have to change with the world. We have to use new methods. We have to use technology. We have to contact people on the internet. Now we recruit people through internet. Join RSS button is there. So we are using that technology to increase our reach. The other day, the conclusion program of the Sangha Shiksha Varga was transmitted through Facebook.
Very good.
And it was a worldwide.
Yes.
We are indulging in that to increase our reach. But our work is man-making work. It requires
human contact.
Human contact. So that we cannot leave, but this we have to grow.
You're right. The pran, exchange of pran in personal contact cannot be long distance. You can have a conversation with somebody, but I don't think there is a pranic exchange going on.
Man-making technology is same.
Yeah.
Even in management science, leadership science, if you go through it, you will find all these things are there.
The personal group dynamics, chemistry, building personal chemistry, all that requires proximity.
Yes. So that we have to keep on. But to increase our reach, to increase our speed, we have to take full advantage of modern technology.
I feel that if you take 100% of Indian population, maybe 30% are very solid Hindu dharmic in the sense of they will stick their neck out, promote it, not just symbolically, Diwali ka card bhej diya kind of thing, but really solid in terms of their dedication and commitment. And then another, say, 20% on the opposite side are so anti, they are not worth, they're just gone cases. But this leaves 50% in the middle, who I think are confused, muddled, sometime this way, sometime that way, opportunistic, switching around. So you might think of them as the biggest opportunity we have, is to go after these guys. Because the ones who are totally anti-Hindu, it's a low probability. The ones who are already on our side, we should keep making them stronger. But in terms of expanding our market share, if you will, this 50% middle is the very important one. So this requires people who engage them on their terms, their language, their lifestyle, their way of doing things. So because a good conversation starts with first merging where the person is and then bringing him in slowly. So we have to have people who reach out. So that must be a huge challenge to do that suddenly, because this world has changed so quickly.
No, because we are used to it. You see, this is a sort of education, and method of education is teacher has to descend to the level of student. Then only he can lift him up to his own level. That is what we do in Shakha. We go, we have contact, we talk to them in their own language. We give our topics so that they can understand them in their own language, and slowly we bring them to our stature. So this being the daily work, a little more complex situation or a newer situation, we quickly adjust to that.
So the shakhas, there is a traditional method of shakhas. Do you feel that the Bauddhic dimension is adequate in the shakhas? Because right now the youth are very argumentative, they want proof of this and logic of that, and constantly, it's no longer obedience, respect for authority, but challenging authority. That's a style. So do you feel that the shakhas of Sangh are ready for a very intellectually challenging situation in the youth culture?
You see, the method is not superstition. Because someone says so, I should do that. That was never our method. You decide, this is my experience, I have experienced this. Now you also take the experience, you draw your own conclusion. So he goes through this intellectual process, has questions, we have to answer them. He applies them in practical life. And when he is convinced that yes, this man is saying the right thing, then only he says that I will obey. Obedience is not the first thing.
Yes.
Obedience is product of one's own conscious conclusion. He says, I will obey. Then he decides to obey. It is not that we ask him to obey. He decides to obey. You come to Shakha, we say. But nobody comes to Shakha by merely saying to him that you come to Shakha. Whenever he comes to Shakha, he gets some experience that urges him that you should go daily to Shakha. Then he becomes a regular associate. So the process is the same. So we don't have any problems with questions, logics, counter logic. We are very happy in that. We are very happy when we get questions from us. Why this? Why this? Why not this? So it is very good. We spend our time in very prasanna atmosphere,
Yes.
very happy atmosphere, where everybody can ask any question to anybody. So even a simple things, a 9th class student, he was Prabandhak in our work. I was Sarakarva then. I have these mustaches. Somebody told him that those mustaches are the imitation mustaches purchased from markets. So he observed me for 3 and 4 days. And then he could not fathom what is it. So he came directly to me and he asked me, are these mustaches real or you have purchased them outside? Like that, a free atmosphere is.
But that's very good sign that a young kid feels comfortable that, why not I can ask.
He can directly approach me, ask me.
Yeah.
And I have to answer him. I cannot say, you are 9th class student, get out, don't ask us.
Yeah.
I cannot say that.
No.
I will have to answer him. Jidnyasa Samadhan is in all our programs, it goes on, at all levels. Even in our Pranta Pracharak Baitak, there is Jidnyasa Samadhan. So anybody can ask any question and we have to answer.